It's the hip hop gamer show. What it is, hip hop.
Yeah, it's in some sense, it's really hard when you have established brands like the Afro world, right? That that their owners and that the original creators would allow other creators from other brands, right, to be in the actual world game, right? But in a secondary game like a Mario Party or a fighting game, it's easier because there's no direct context. You know what I'm saying? It's just your favorite character in an arena against another character, and that's the kind of stuff that's super possible. You know, especially in all the games that we own as a studio, like Sword King and The Unforgiven. We're going to have all options are open because we control the entire life. With Afro, we have to, as RZA told us, you know, you have to respect the brand. You know what I'm saying? You got to respect another brother's hustle, and if you're invited to the party, you catch those first downs and you get off the field. You know what I'm saying? And so with that, and that's generally why we get so much love, is because one, we respect another brother's artwork. You know, we respect and hold a lot of reverence for anybody who's given us a chance. But also, when it comes to their brand, we are representing their brand to the world. So we work very hard to make sure Afro looks amazing, that the world looks amazing, that we spend a lot of time to make sure that if we're going to be inviting another character into the brand, that he fits, that he looks right. Because it costs about $10,000 to build a character, right?
Wow.
And another $50 to get him animated right? Afro, as you guys see him, cost about $270,000.
Wow. Now my thing is I'm glad that you're talking numbers, because a lot of times people in the industry, not just people in the industry, but fans themselves, you know, when you have a disconnect of knowledge and a disconnect of understanding on what it takes to do certain things, then you don't appreciate what you're getting, so you just write it off. And I feel that's a problem, because think about it. If more people knew what it took to do what y'all did, and companies weren't afraid to let go of that information publicly, then you would probably actually generate more sales, just because people appreciate what you go through to do it. So if it come out great, or it may not come out as great, the respect is there. And when you have respect, then you build a bond. And then it makes people understand why donations are important. It makes them understand why this is that and this is that. And I feel that most people in a position of power, they are more users of their audience instead of embracing the power of their audience.
You're right. Because most of them come from the old school, and a lot of they consider it a trade secret, right? When it comes to how much it costs to do something, right? And they also think of it as with that trade secretness, it becomes a bit of a weakness if people can just really associate what your production costs are with the value of the product you're delivering, right? Most people don't appreciate that. You know, when they see a next-gen game, most reviewers aren't really professional journalistic reviews, right?
Oh, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
And that's what's killing the industry.
Exactly.
These magazines allowing people who aren't really journalists, they're just kids who want to talk smack. You know, in every other entertainment field, the review is a curation of the art, not just someone trolling to get a click.
Yes.
Right? And unfortunately, it's destroying the industry hand over fist. Right? And it's a shame.
It's a shame. And me as a journalist, like, there's a lot of times when people try to silence me. They'll try to ban me from areas, because you know how it is when you speak a little truth. People get uncomfortable. And the thing is, you know, I've always been that guy where when I come through, my heart is on my sleeve. I love games. I love the developers. Like, just like how I'm interviewing you. You're not going to get this type of interview in other outlets. You just not. Like, you know what I'm saying? So my thing is, what I wanted to do was talk about that exactly. How it affects game companies. How it affects game companies, and it's like a slap in the face to the actual time and work and time away from family and all these other things. When you have, like, and this is no shot at, you know, the IGNs of the world or the game shows of the world, because everybody is held accountable. I'm not gonna blame IGN for one person's thing. Like, I don't do things like that. I represent everybody. I love everybody, but I also understand that there is bias. Like, even recently, Machinima was under fire because they gave like $30,000 and $20,000 to like a lot of YouTube influencers to help promote Xbox and do these things, and you wasn't allowed to say anything negative, even if you found a negative within the situation. So it's all this other stuff that's going on that makes it unfair. What I want to ask you is, what is your stance on that in terms of what do you plan to do about it to take more control over the way your game is being presented and informed to the people?
Well, I think the ubiquity of digital media and social media has really taken a lot of the stick. This is the beauty about internet, is that the second it becomes cheap to distribute, you're in trouble if you're trying to keep secrets or trying to impose your will on people, right?
Right.
And I think the greatest thing that could have ever crossed our paths is places like Twitch, right, where kids just want to watch other kids play games, right?
Right.
Or any venue where you can add, or Vines, right, where people are just showing their excitement about a specific subject and getting out there and producing. What we're going to do is we're just going to put it out there, right? We're going to talk as much as we can about how we did it, why we did it, what we did, you know? And what we're going to depend on is for the urban community and the hip-hop community to embrace us, right? And unfortunately, it's a lot of what George Lucas went through when he made the last Tuskegee Airmen movie, right? Yeah. He got on TV and said, "Black people, I've spent $22 million on this movie to try to tell your history. If you don't go see it, it's on you."
Yep.
Because no one else is spending that kind of money to tell your history. And that's just the way it is, right? If we don't support each other and hold open those doorways for each other, you know what I'm saying? No one is going to do it for us. We're the only community that doesn't do it. The second we see a brother get some success, we're tearing him down with a hatchet. You know what I'm saying?
I hate it.
We think he's moving slow because he's not as smart as us. We don't realize he's moving slow because he's carrying a big ass rope ladder trying to help us out. You know what I'm saying? And we don't, in our minds, we haven't been taught what it looks like when a brother is trying to reach out, what that pain is like, to have everybody above you say, we're not going to focus on the urban community, and have you in your mind tortured with, man, if I don't, then I'm going to be one of the only brothers like a Haley's Comet that ever comes by here and leaves the door open for a brother, like Glenn did for me.
Right.
Never seen that before, but let me tell you, I don't even close doors anymore. I just take the whole door off as soon as I go through it, right?
I like that.
Somebody who could just slightly close that door and lock it right after I get through it. You know what I'm saying? So,
yo, that's amazing, man. So I got a couple more questions for you, man. I'm gonna let you go, man. And I love this. Is y'all, man, I'm speechless, man. I just want to thank you so much for your time, man. I really do.
And
so,
as many brothers and sisters as I can reach, the better, man. It ain't got to buy my game, man. I don't care if they buy anything. All I want them to know and care about is that a brother got over that hill. So if anybody ever tells them you can't do it, you can't come out of the hood with no father and no welfare, and everybody telling you you're stupid and you can't do it and don't even bother trying, I'm that guy. They've seen it happen. It can be done.
It can be done. I feel you, man. I feel the same way, man. And I feel that responsibility. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's amazing to me. My next question, big question, man. Now, when it comes to Afro Samurai overall and the other games that you mentioned and stuff like that, what do you feel would be like your major result in terms of a goal with the new game that you're about to release now? Because I feel that if this game get the type of success you're looking for, I can only imagine what's going to come next in terms of the way you want it, the way you envision it. So would you, if you don't mind, would you mind sharing your vision for your next steps and what it will take, like what needs to happen with this project to make the next thing happen, in your opinion?
The next step is to have, you know, we're going to be able, it's math. We're going to be able to get X amount of brothers to be able to get paid making music for video games with Afro, right?
Right.
Each chapter has a new score that can hold like maybe 12 to 15 new tracks. Right. We're going to be doing 3 chapters. That's 40 to 60 tracks, right? That means 40 to 60 opportunities for a brother to get paid, right?
Right.
With each game, that becomes exponential. Every game that I make that's geared towards the hip-hop community and the urban community means that I am literally building more buses, more spaceships to get more brothers paid. And that's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I had a fantasy, and the fantasy is this. I wanted to get Bill Gates rich so I could buy up all the prisons and turn them prisons into Harvards and literally change the scape of the world. That's how you do things. When you're going to save a species, right, you don't drag them out of their habitat, right? You find them where they are, you triage right there, right? That's how we change the scape of blackness, right? Somebody has to put their nose to the grindstone and put it all out there. Like this is the last play of the last game of the last minute of the Super Bowl every morning. And until enough of us are willing to make that sacrifice, we gonna be the North American Timberwolf, brother. We just ain't gonna survive.
Wow.
Right? That's just it.
I love your way of thinking, man. I really do, and I'm gonna do my best to push this interview as far as the Lord is gonna take it.
And tell us, so they ain't gotta buy a thing. All they gotta do is listen and do something.